which of course they have not actually succeeded. And it will be one of the items that I think I've explained, sent to the people. That is the issue of the principle of what we call Arutupi. Yes. The principle of protection. Yes. Responsibility to protect. That is how they call it. Arutupi is a very, very important clause where, for example, the world has failed in Arutupi over the Palestinian people. The world failed in Arutupi when it was a time for the genocide that took place in Biafra land. The world could argue that by that time, Arutupi was not actually existing. It was not yet set in motion. The world failed in Arutupi, not over Somalia alone, but over Rwanda. And they have failed in Arutupi in different instances. Because Arutupi is very technical. It is like the idea of the responsibility to protect. Arutupi fights against state sovereignty. You know, the UN talks a lot about the territorial integrity, the sovereignty of the state, that another state should not come into another state to help to protect it. What is going on in Ukraine today is on the basis of Arutupi, the responsibility to protect, where the US and others are going in saying that they are not there to conquer Russia, they are there to protect Ukraine. But as usual, it is selective. They decide who they should protect and who should be allowed to be slaughtered. That is the international law works, and that is the monkey part of it. I think diplomacy, unfortunately, diplomacy is a very it's something that is extremely dangerous because the way it weighs, the way it goes, is always on the basis of state interest. That is the danger with diplomacy. If you don't have the power, you don't have anything to do. They are aware that Biya has killed so many people. They are aware that Biya is 92 years old, but they don't have the means to kick him out of power. If they come to them and declare that Biya has won the election, what is going to happen in Cameroon? Some will say, oh, the election was free and fair and rigged. They will be mocking you at the back. They will not allow somebody at 92 to be their president. They will not allow somebody at 92 to be in power for 40 plus years. They will not allow an old man like Tinubu, who might be falling around, to run Nigeria if they were there. But they will allow it in your case and mock you at the back because they think they can use that individual for their own good. So this is how the world works. That's the part of diplomacy. I'm sorry I have to get into this. At times I become very emotional because this is what I studied in school and this is what I teach my students when I'm lecturing. However, you have only the ICC. And the ICC also has been accused for carrying out selective justice. Because who pays them? That is the question. Where is the salary for the people at ICC come from? He who pays the piper dictates the tune. So that is some of the difficulties we are facing. However, I will still think you need to put your evidence in a very, very organized manner. Put your evidence. It is not just for ICC today, it is for posterity. Put it in video because it speaks a lot. Put it in people speaking out on what the Nigerian military has done to them. Make sure you have enough evidence because you don't have evidence, you cannot try somebody. If, for example, somebody comes in and they say that they will try the TPM in the US for X or Y, and then the TPM has a lawyer who does not go down to Biafra land to investigate what is happening there as part of the TPM support, then the TPM could not say she has a lawyer or she has a defense. Because you need that evidence to put in court. I am not in this because I want to help people. I am in this because I am born in slavery. I am hurting. I've been dehumanized, not just me. Even the children I have born here in the United States are suffering that dehumanization through me. So that is the type of thing you do. Put it together. I can assure you of one thing. Someone somewhere in the ICC will see those things and will ask that they should act. If they don't act, some people might even resign. It's not like us Africans where resignation is not part of our tool. We don't know how to resign from something on the basis of our morals. But out here, a lot of people will step down and resign. There could be a lot of bad people, but people will resign. And if people do that, you've achieved something. So get your evidence. You might not trust the ICC, but that is the only thing we have. Get your evidence. You dumping it where it is in the legal way, while you're having what else you need to have. That will be put in the public arena at the right time. As much as possible, is to make sure we flow the arena with evidence that are irrefutable. But when you are going to the ICC, you don't make announcements. In most of these things, as our two, the rabbi and our other brothers spoke, we should realize that the biggest advantage for us is secrecy.
Yes.
It's the possibility of inevitability. When your enemy doesn't know when you are coming and how you are coming, you have already won. But every time you think because you have a cell phone or whatsoever, and instead of you freeing the homeland, you are praying for the gallery, you are losing a lot. You are making your enemy to prepare more than you. They will take the oil money from Biafra land to fight you, to dish it out there, to block all avenues. So it's not always that you put out everything. Make sure the food is ready for people to eat before you call them to come around the table. Because if you call them when that food is not yet ready, somebody is going to kill the other one.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so you can proceed, Dr. Panda. Thank you.
So now we will proceed in this format. We've spoken about IHL, and we've talked mostly about the things we don't need to do. I will want here that some of us, especially those on the ground who were here and who are able to speak, should tell us some of the do-nots that they have learned that they are not supposed to do. And I'm aware that you are already undertaking some training on the ground, and I'm very happy for that. And I've asked the DPM that you people should do everything to make sure every time you are taking training, please record it for your own good. Record it in videos for your own good. Because that is your weapon, that is your defense tomorrow. That does not mean somebody from your unit might not be emotionally out of order and do something. I've explained before that the most trained military in the world commit crimes against humanity in the field because of so many things that are happening. So mistakes can be made, and that is understandable before law. But when things are done consciously, that you know we are not supposed to do this, but we are going to do it because the other side is doing it to us, you are committing a crime. So the question I'm asking is, what are some of the things in the course of prosecuting whatever you are prosecuting you are not supposed to do based on the teachings you've had so far on IHL? Because that is the way we will know that we have captured something.
Okay. I mean, people can raise up their hand and answer the question. So what's a specific question, Dr. Panda?
What are some of the do-nots IHL is clamoring for?
Okay, the do-nots. Raise your hand and answer. I would say not raping women and children.
That is one.
Okay. You can answer. Whoever want to answer the question, go ahead and answer. Let me make sure that you can talk. Okay. Go ahead, everyone. Those that want to answer, you can answer.
There are some hands on Techno K17 in Phoenix, Hot 8 is on.
All right, guys, as you are joining me, make sure you like the video. We came late and we have to do the needful, please.
No, they are all muted. Okay.
We are not aware that program will be today. Please like the video.
Wonderful.
Okay. Okay, next person. The next person.
Go ahead.
I would say is avoiding churches that civilians that are there.
That is good. Next.
Make sure you don't expose what you are going to do before those that get the job.
Well, that one is not technically IHL. That is more of an advice I'm giving. IHL does not tell you that you don't expose or you expose. That's a strategic issue. What IHL will mainly tell you is that you should be careful with what you do. Don't think that because people are not seeing it, the time will come when you have to answer for it. That is why you have to respect IHL at all times. Honorable Pastor.
God bless you for your good work. Continue. Thank you.
Yes. Next.
Burning people's homes.
Yes. No burning of homes.
No don't use a church to do a shed or to do
a cover for military action. Good.
Yeah.
So are we allowed to use hospitals for military action?
No.
Are we allowed to use schools for military action?
No.
Good. Okay, go ahead. Who else?
Don't use market. As in, you're not allowed to go
And don't use
offense with anger or emotions. Yes. Another point is not to attack humanitarian workers like the Red Cross and the sister groups.
That is very, very important because most often you commit most of those crimes, they might take a time to come after you. But when you go after humanitarian workers, like Doctors Without Borders, the ICRC, and other humanitarian groups, you are setting yourself for legal. You are going to be in big trouble. Yes.
Ghost, can you please mute some people? Please, can you mute some people?
Please, one at a time.
Yes, you shall not loot.
Good. Perfect. No looting. You don't take advantage that because you are armed, you can just go anywhere. You can get into somebody's house and carry whatever you want to carry out there and do what you want to do. Then I will come on that issue of looting. I want somebody to remind me. I want to use a word, and that one will not be part of IHL, but it will be able to help the people on the ground to understand what I mean by that. Next.
Enter Biafra. What are the guns?
Okay, don't kill your enemy wounded soldier that surrendered, and also don't attack. Don't use your enemy uniform to attack them. Just to wear their uniform in order to attack them.
That is very, very good. You can recall that we said that under IHL, if, for example, Nigeria military knows that this Biafran self-defense team is wearing this uniform, and they decide to go and stitch that same uniform and dress a particular wing of the Nigerian military in that uniform, that is war crime. They are not supposed to do that. It is not permitted. As much as people think they can get away with it, it's not okay. In the same domain, if the Biafrans decide to take Nigerian uniform, wear it, and then carry out a surprise attack in a Nigerian encampment or camp, it is also a breach of international humanitarian law. You are not supposed to do that. You can go ahead and do it because you think it's easy to do it, you are successful in it, but what the law says is that is totally unacceptable. To have your insignias is what identify you for who you are. The symbols you use as the emblem for the USP remains your symbol. Anyone who goes and takes those symbols to use in the course of war, for example, if that is the symbol you are using, breaches international humanitarian law. You don't need copyright for it, but that person breaches international humanitarian law. So it comes on this. Any other person? Last one. Okay, we can't hear you well. I think your network is very bad.
Yeah, I think he meant do not intimidate civilians just because you're carrying arms. Yeah.
Good. That is fine. Okay. Now I think it is very clear that most of you know they do not based on IHL.
Do not keep.
Please, if your mic is we can't hear you.
Hey, Dr. Nana, go ahead.
Dr. Cornelius is muted, so he can't hear until.
No, he's on mute. David, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Good evening. One of the dots IHL is do not engage the enemy even if you have them. You have upper hand against them, but they are being moving within the civilian population or civilian zone, like in the market. Do not engage them. You have to let them move away from such environment before you engage them.
So that one falls under which principle? Proportionality. Wonderful. That is the principle of proportionality that Dr. Nana has explained. It is very important. The principle of distinction and the principle of proportionality are very, very key. Before the last one.
Yes. This is Omojiro. I've been muted since. Good evening, everybody.
Go ahead, sir.
There are two things here that somebody should put in mind when engaging. It's just like the rules of engagement. Anything at all, according to he said, never trouble until trouble troubles you. That is Machiavelli. If you are being attacked, now it is the enemy that is now attacking you. You are not in the midst of civilians. It is you being attacked. So you have every right to defend yourself. So whatever you do there to defend yourself, you are right. And whatever you want to do, even if an enemy attacks you, whatever action you decide to take, make sure that action does not affect an innocent civilian. If it will affect any innocent civilian, then don't do it. That is just the two things somebody should put in mind. Your action should not affect a civilian. Let your attacks only bounce on your enemies, not an innocent civilian. Thank you much.
Thank you so much. There are still some people whose hands are up. I want them to speak before I move forward.
David, go ahead. 1 minute.
Good evening. Am I coming out here?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. They've answered what I wanted to answer, but I just have a little question. When he was speaking, he said that we must make sure that we gather enough evidence. I wanted him to throw more light on.
Obi-Wan, yes, this is live program. This is a live program. You are welcome.
How much evidence?
Ike Jesus, I see you.
And then we know that it is now enough. Thank you.
Let me answer you directly. When you want to build a case, you want the case to be watertight. You don't have limitations to the amount of evidence you gather. The more evidence you have, the more better for your case.
Don't forget to like the video.
Remember that some of the items you might see as
Click on like button.
might be thrown out in the court of law. So you better gather as much as possible so that if a few are going to be thrown out, others are going to pass the test. So gather as much. And equally remember that the more evidence you have, the more it exposes
There were
that
Christopher,
the
there
other
were.
side has been engaged in serious crimes against you.
Thank you.
Or war crimes. So that is what you have to do. The more evidence from different angles. For example, if you get an evidence that they raped 3 16-year-old school children who were going to school, that is not enough. Find a way for these kids to speak. I am sorry, but it will be emotional. Let them explain how gruesome it was. What happened to them if they have the capacity to do that. Let them explain them. That is what you put in the video. That is what captures the people. And what makes them to identify that was the Nigerian military. They will be able to know it's the military. They will be able to speak. I'm giving this just as an example of people who come in and bend down whole houses or villages.
Kinsley, you're welcome. Kinsley, please hit the like button. Hit the like
Gather
button.
as much as possible.
We started late.
Because you might open more than one case. Remember that some of these people that you might want to try, you might not only have to try them through ICC. There are times the situation that you listen about Augusto Pinochet. A Nigerian official might no longer be in power who might be involved in crimes, serious crimes against IHL, crimes against humanity, who finds him or herself in a Western country. You can go there and file a case against that individual, and that individual, as an individual, might be arrested and taken to court, especially if they are no longer in active service but they were involved in those crimes. So that is the reason you have behind you. So to gather evidence is a simple thing. Get as much as possible.
Thank you so much. The kind spirit, go ahead. 1 minute. 1 minute. Prince Onyema, go ahead. 1 minute.
They are all muted.
No, they are not. They can unmute themselves.
On something, or you were throwing like I've heard some of the things you've said, and there were things we spoke about.
Yeah, I think
more on this on how we can also prove the work of those who are committing those crimes, and we capture terrorists that are attacking our land, can also hand them over as a victim. Not eliminating all of them, but also those that have surrendered.
Okay, let me come in here. The goal of the IHL is to make sure that that there are limitations of the harms of war, because war harms everybody, both sides that are fighting and even those who are not fighting. Even if you don't shoot at civilians, they suffer during wartime. The limitations of their freedom of movement and many other access to other things. Like we said last time, IHL made it very clear that if, for example, in the course of exchange of gunfire, the Nigerian soldier is on the ground and his or her colleagues escapes because they are running for their lives, and they are able to capture that soldier, or maybe even 3 or 4 soldiers. You capture them. We explain to them what has to happen. You are definitely going to disarm them. But the moment you capture them, you are no longer going to treat them as enemy combatants. They become like prisoners of war, which means you give them the highest treatment that is possible. You feed them. If they are wounded, you make sure their wounds are taken care of. And that is when you get in touch with the International Committee of the Red Cross. If, for example, you have a couple of Nigerian soldiers that are keeping, and you know they're Nigerian soldiers with evidence, it might give you a lot of positive cloud to reach out to the ICC at this moment. I mean ICRC, and tell the Red Cross, listen, we are keeping some Nigerian soldiers in the course of our struggle here in Biafra land. We have taken good care of them, but we are reaching out to you because we know this is part of what the international community permits your organization to do. We want them to definitely hand them over to you. What do we do? Make sure everything you do, as I said, always record. Not to put in public for your own protection and the protection and the good image of the struggle. You reach out, and make sure they reach out to you people. And I can assure you, if you can make a contact like that, that is legitimate. It boosts the morale of whatever group or whichever people are doing that. People will not, tomorrow, nobody is going to say you are murderers. You could testify tomorrow. We did this. We reached out to the ICRC. We handled X or Y. And the treatment you also give, the people will go back. You don't need to. When they go back, the story they're going to give will be different, even to some of their own colleagues who are in the military. They become convinced. So these are some of the things you do. Remember, war is partly psychological. War is not just fighting. There is the psychological part of war. And if you know how to fight psychological war, you have won part of the war already. The West is good in doing that. Psychological warfare is very important. How you fight it, how you transform your enemy to become your ally without necessarily recruiting them, is how you treat them, how you behave, how you react on the ground. It doesn't stop you from defending your homeland, from having rage to fight when your area you are under attack. But it makes you responsible, it makes you respected, and it makes every other person who is within that range, within that same group, organization, or government, or whatever, to be seen with a different light. So it's very, very important.
Thank you so much. Please, Onyema, go ahead. 1 minute, please. Make your questions. Please, Onyema, go ahead. Last one, go ahead. Unmute yourself. You cannot unmute yourself. Honorable Christopher, I hope you're not muting our people generally so that they can.
No, I'm not. They can do that.
Onyema, go ahead. Last one, go ahead. 1 minute.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. My own is very simple because we have this stage of we are staying at a state of war. But the most important thing we need now in Biafran land is very simple: is to unite the land, because the land now is, the enemies is plenty. The enemies is too much. The enemies within is much plenty than even the enemy outside. That's supposed to be our number one goal now, to look for a way to unite Biafran land, because there are a lot going on. The last attack on Okigwe was attacked by was attacked by terrorist bandits, not Nigerian soldiers. If you go through the information and the investigation that have been done, the attack was attacked by the bandits in the north. They came down to east and attack. So the most important thing we need now is to look for a way to unite Biafran land first. At least with unity, we will defeat them. We are defending, we are not attacking. Where we need the law of the international criminal court is when we are defending, when we are attacking. We are still on defense. We cannot say our sister and go and rape her. You can only rape for what you want. So we are not up to that stage. What we need now is to preach about unity. It's how to make sure everybody has one voice and one mind, so that we will know our way forward. So that protect you and side your side. Not any simple thing. Your brother is supposed to defend you is the one attacking you. All these things are what we need to put in book and know how to defend it. Not by carrying guns and arms. Even these guns and arms is even fighting against us these days. Because most of our brothers have gone out the oath we took. Most of our people is doing what was not supposed to be done because of no non-direction, nobody is trying, no director, nothing. No. So it is affecting us. Since our prime minister is held, it is affecting. What we need to do now is every opponent together, all hands on deck. Let us unite the land first. If we unite the land, war is nothing. Because Nigeria cannot face us in the battle. Even themselves, they know. In the battle of survival, they cannot face us. They don't have the capability to face us, which they know too well. I'm not telling you, I'm not saying it that maybe I want to say, but I'm telling you it's a promise. Only a key will stand there for 1 week. Now check if 5 states can stand, if 5 states is well armed, check what will happen. If Okigwe can withstand Nigeria for 1 week, one good whole week, no shaking. So
So what I'm begging us is, please, let us look for a way to unite the land. Let us have unity. If there is unity, Nigeria cannot take us more than the threat and mass number to us. 1 week is too much to face them. 1 week is too much. If there is unity in the land. Please, ma, I'm begging your office. In the name of Chukwabiyama, we worship. Let us look for a way and let that be unity. Please. Let us.
Okay, last one, we can discuss this one very quickly.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Last. But again, this training is not about unity or no unity. The United States of Biafra government is fully united, 100%, 98% of Biafrans are solidly behind the United States of Biafra government. And I don't know if you're in any of the team or defense or something like that. There is absolutely no division. The only thing that looks like division are those used by the Nigerian state to ensure or to tamper with the full restoration of Biafra. That is it, nothing more, nothing less. So if we can focus on the humanitarian, the tactics we are learning here, I think that would be more important. As far as the vision, the whole United States of Biafra people are united in a common cause. And that cause is the United States of Biafra, the freedom, the declaration that was done in Finland on November 29, 2024. Anyone working outside this, you need to go and ask them who they are working for. So let's go back to the topic at hand. We are fully united. Onyema, go ahead, please. Then Magic, go ahead. One minute, please. If you have any question that Dr. Kwanda can answer, please go ahead. These are related to the training that we are doing, please. Sayomi, go ahead. 1 minute. Because we have to continue with the training. Putin, go ahead. 1 minute. Unmute yourself. I think everyone can unmute themselves. Okay.
For the state of awareness.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, my DPM, my video, I also greet all the cabinet member. I want to have the simple question that what is going on here, state of awareness. If a suicide bomber is in the market, how will we get in touch so you cannot attack the civilians that sell the market? How can we save somebody in that level? You understand? If a civilian who is nearby a suicide bomber like Boko Haram, various men, in our market. So as a USB, so how can we save you this level of a humanitarian level? So that's the question.
Maybe I didn't get the question clearly. Can someone?
He said if there's a suicide bomber, a suicide bomber inside the market, how do you deal with that? I believe that was a question he asked.
Well, IHL does not deal with issues of suicide bombing because suicide bombing is technically considered a very heinous crime. Because the person who is going to take their life is not there mostly to target a particular group of people. It's there to cause havoc. That is the job of most suicide bombers, is to cause havoc. Because when you come in, your goal is, I want to kill as many people as possible. Maybe for the name of an imaginary god, or just as a means of vengeance, revenge. They kill our people in Kenya, or our people were killed here, or this was attacked here. I'm going to bomb myself and kill as many innocent people. And the people who did the bombing, if actually it took place, will be totally far away from the epicenter. So it's innocent people are going to die. So it's a crime. So if there is a suicide bomber, if you really know this is a suicide bomber, then the possibility of taking that suicide bomber out is quite a different story. Because definitely you will not know it's a suicide bomber until the bomb has already exploded and people have died. And destruction has taken place. So you should have a powerful intelligence to know that is a suicide bomber inside a market who is about to kill people. That one is crime. It's very serious crime. It's not just, you don't even call that war crime. It's serious crime. It's common law crime on its own. To dress in the, put on suicide stuff, go to a church or anywhere where people are largely populated, and then you detonate the bomb. You are not worrying by using suicide bombs. You might say you will use every means possible, but that is where you cause mass casualty. There is no debate. Innocent lives will be lost. Some people become handicapped for life. A lot of destruction will take place. So if you look at one act of a suicide bomber and the level of international crimes committed, it is unimaginable. So that one is a very difficult situation for you to handle. You shoot a suicide bomber whose hand is already on the bomb and you see it. It will detonate. That is why even when you watch in movies, they discover somebody is wearing suicide jacket. They will find a way to de-escalate the situation. Otherwise, if the person presses the bomb, maybe the person wants to de-escalate the situation might die. So that is normally what happens. That is not worry. That is act of criminality. And at times, some of these things go beyond the boundaries of law. And you want to find enemies. For an suicide bomber, and civilians are there, they know this guy is a suicide bomber. The civilians who might want to even jump on that person to hold the person might die with the person when this is someone who is willing to die. And it's on him. And he doesn't want to die alone. That is why he's looking for a market, a populated place, or a church. Anywhere that there is a population, maybe a football match, a stadium, a soccer match somewhere, or where there's any gathering, marital gathering or death ceremony, he just wants to cause mass casualty. That is not worry. It's not worry. It's something else.
Okay, Dr. Masaga, let me help you on that area. Let me, at least I know of it. That's why we have IEDs, trainers. In the military sector, you have IEDs. And when there is a situation like this, the first thing you will do is go as a soldier. You do not fight as a soldier that time. You fight as a combatant soldier by having internal security and external security. And outer security, we go down the area to dispatch the people. Why the internal security, we move in. Then, that is if the bomb has already detonated and people have died. To condemn the area to find out. Then, if it has not, now you look of, there is something you call landmines. And I train as a special force. There is something you call landmines. You find out when you look at in a crowd, you must see somebody, maybe you target, somebody can fall, the speed is coming, no. And it's a place, you know there is a crime there. Know that something is wrong. What you do is to stop the person by hurting the person from far away. Hurt, who goes there? If the person keep moving, then if you're with your rifle, you know what to do. I won't say it here. That is one. Number two, if you are moving in a land or in a bush, check landmarks, maybe in a place where you find out that, such a thing cannot be there. Check wires. That's why when you see a soldier, the open bonnet of a car, there is a wire connected on that, meaning that there is IED inside. So these are the things. The question that I think that somebody will ask is that now we are looking for our struggle. We are still into struggle, we have liberated ourselves, trying to be on our own. In a situation whereby these Nigerian Air Force come into Biafra land and start bombing people from the up. In such situation, what do we do? That is the question you as a soldier should ask. So Dr. Kwanga, I'm asking you now, in a situation whereas in a Biafra land, where these fighter jets will be from up and be bombing innocent homes, what do we do? Thank you.
Well, those who are bombing from up, we have already spoken about the issue of principle of distinction. And we have talked about the principle of proportionality. They are committing war crimes. It's war crimes for you to just come up in the air and claim that you are going to bomb. We have seen that happen time and again. When people bomb hospitals, kill a lot of doctors and patients, and when they want to ask them, they think that their argument will be that, there were militias who were hiding in there. Did you look at the principle of proportionality? Did you realize that you are bombing a hospital whatnot. That comes in under the principles of proportionality. So the whole notion of someone bombing from the air is quite a different story. That is already war crimes. So how do you expect, if the Biafran don't have an air-to-shoulder missile to shoot down the planes or whatever is in the air they're bombing at them, what are they going to do? They will have to take over. There's no act of bravery. This one is not IHL strategy. There's no act of bravery in going to put your chest for the enemy to throw bombs and kill you. You need to stay alive, record what is happening, and be ready to fight the next day. But what I'm saying is, if that is done by Biafran Air Force or Nigerian Air Force to go somewhere and you think that is an act of war, so you can do anything and you are raining bombs on the village from the air and the next, you are committing war crimes. That one is the most easiest of war crimes that you'll be held accountable for. If you are a state on your own, you can go fighting left and right. You saw what happened in Darfur, where al-Bashir sent forces. They did exactly what you are saying. They bombed villages from the air. And that is one of the main reasons why the ICC indicted him. The crimes in Darfur. Bombing from the air. That is war crimes. That is war crimes. If Biafra doesn't have air-to-shoulder missiles or anti-water aviation missiles or whatever word I'm going to use, then they become powerless. They can't just take AK-47 or what and be shooting in the air. That is difficult. So the other side is committing war crimes. They have the weapons to do that. What do? The world will be watching. We have seen that happen time and time again. What I only do here is, and like as I said, we are here to look at them. Do not do this as you struggle to prosecute your war, because you'll be committing crimes that will come after you tomorrow, or after people who are with you, or people in your team will be asked to answer for things they were not there on the ground when they took place. That is just what is supposed to be done, because the major thing you want to do is to be seen as a responsible nation. If you say we have declared our independence, people should see you that you are responsible. Does it mean your enemies should act in the same responsible way? You don't need to guarantee that. You learning IHL doesn't mean Nigeria must respect IHL. Nigeria is learning it. They're supposed to do that. It's a must. In the training schools, there are supposed to be refresher courses for IHL. Even after this course is over. And those of you who have learned it, have your certificate. It doesn't end there. You have to make sure after every 3 months or what, you have constant IHL. It's a reminder. There are simple things in IHL which normally concerns our own area. Please, when you are going to the battlefield, don't do this, don't do that. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. So that if you, the commander, you are not even there, and there is a fighting taking place and your people are there are things they will know they have to do and others they don't have to do. Remember, IHL doesn't teach you how to defend yourself if you are under attack. IHL doesn't tell you don't fight. It doesn't give you the techniques. IHL is only saying that, listen, we don't care the reason why you are fighting. All what we are saying is that these are things we are asking you not to do in the course of fight. That is the area of IHL. Every other thing is left to you and your strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Akwanga, let me help you on this. Let me help you on this.
Please make it 1 minute, please, or 2 minutes.
Okay.
We have a lot.
I want to say this. In the IHL training, when, like, let me take for instance, like parachuters or airborne or divers, is against humanitarian law that you fighting. When you see somebody with parachute coming, you shoot down the person. It's against humanitarian law. It's not done. You don't, but being that we are in a struggle, where things can be, that's why Dr. Akwanga is advising here that everything we do should remain private, not in the open. So you, whenever you see such situation, you as a soldier listening to me now, please do the best of what you can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Prince Onyema 1 minute, Zurich, and 14. Make it 1 minute, please. Go ahead. Zurich, go ahead. Putin, go ahead.
All right, good evening, Your Excellency. Good evening, Takwanga and everyone. Good evening, Secretary of Defense and all cabinet members. Dr. Kwang, I have a question for you, also an observation. We don't want to talk because of time, but let me just come up. You, according to your teaching, you studied this in the US, am I right? And you also lectured on this IHL. I want to ask, have you for once, looking at the scenario globally and in Africa, our marginalization and suffering, have you for once told the Europeans, those that taught you and those that are teaching, have you for once made a submission to the government, to the authorities, that these things they taught you and employ you to teach others, that it is happening the other way around in Africa? These laws is being effective in Africa, but not in Europe. Just like we talk about Israel, Russia, America, and so on. Have you made the submission for once that we in Africa, we are still marginalized? Nice, because these laws you teach or they taught you is not taking place. It's not effective in Europe. Have you made a submission, sir?
Thank you very much, Comrade Putin. The first thing I want you to understand is that I didn't learn IHL just in the United States. I went to the oldest military academy, a private military academy in the US. I studied diplomacy there. I did all my doctorate in South Africa. And I've been working with the SPLA, the ANC, the SP, the South African Communist Party, Frelimo, and others for so many years. Yes. So what I want you to understand is that most of my work is done in the continent. And even though I'm teaching IHL, it is because we have not only taught IHL within the Amazonian struggle, and those who were not able to agree to study IHL have been involved in serious issues, which I am aware of as an individual involved in the struggle that they have done on the ground. That has not only impacted them as individuals, but has impacted our struggle, which the rest of us are paying the price today because of things that has been done that would have been avoided. People have acted out of emotions and anger rather than reasoning, knowing fully well that in this world, when you put a leadership, be careful with what you do because you might be putting that leadership into big trouble based on your own actions. I have to go to the ICRC. I flew from the US to Geneva to have. It took me more than 1.5 years to convince the International Committee of the Red Cross to teach IHL. And the IHL was not taught in the US. I have to make sure it was done in the African continent so that they meet the real people who were concerned. And it was done in secrecy. So it will tell you how much trust they have in me, in believing in me, to send in experts from Switzerland to come to Africa, join me to teach IHL, to make sure there is some sanity while people are fighting. There are three Swiss groups that came to Africa that I brought them. And we did IHL for more than 3.5 years. We were having IHL almost after every 6 months, and the population was increasing. So I myself, I taught it in school in South Africa. I was teaching at Westfield campus for the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So it is not like thing I've not discussed everywhere. I've discussed it in the Central African Desk at the United Nations Security Council. I've discussed it in so many areas. And my position as an African is different. And at times when I sit here to teach it, if it was a white teaching IHL, you will not take some of these questions you are asking because some of them don't have much to do with the exact IHL. I'm taking them because I understand where they are coming from. I'm one who is part and parcel of the continent, and I understand where all of this is coming from. So, like as I said, these laws were not meant for us. Remember, the major wars that has been fought in the world, there is none of those wars that was started by Africans. The first 2 major wars, the Africans did not start any of them. Though we were asked to fight some of them, either in the name of colonial masters or what. But we have not started any of these wars. Go back to to history, all wars that has been fought from the time of Napoleon to where? Show me one war that Africans actually started. We were only dragged into these wars because Africans have been we have been a civilized people. It doesn't mean we're not fighting wars. No, we were. The act of butchery, where you see they kill people today, you might kill somebody in your house, you cut the person into pieces, put in a briefcase and bury and the rest. This is not Africa. This is what is happening in the West. In the West, they have learned all types of techniques to kill another human being. The guillotine came from where? From France. Method of hanging and all types of methods of killing started here in the West. The West are experts in different methods of killing. That is why if you look at the methods of torture that our security apparatus in Africa are using, they learned them from Europe. A lot from Russia during the time of the Gulag Archipelago, some from even the US, some from Belgium. A lot of these things are learned from these people. So we know where it is coming from. However, we are saying that we are part of the international community. As part of that community, whatever we do will affect not just our movement in and out, but our liaison, our contribution, our relationship with others. And when norms are put together, those norms are not supposed to look at you as a Biafran or in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much.
It has to look at everybody. That is how those laws are supposed to be. And we have one thing. We don't care whether the other man is respecting it or not. What we care is whether we are playing our own part in respecting those laws while trying to defend ourselves. That should be our goal. That should be our goal. We can cry foul if the other man is not respecting it. We use that even as a means to incriminate the other person so that that person is prosecuted. Then it is our duty to do everything possible to respect those norms. Just at least for our own civility, because if we respect IHL and we do it the right way, our own civilian population, like one of our brothers came here and spoke about the issue of unity. If we truly respect IHL, it will be so easy to bring our people in our folds, one way or the other. Doesn't mean everybody is ever going to say yes, no matter how perfect you try to do things. But it will be easy for us to bring our people together, and our people will be able to decide between what will be better for them and what they have now. So that is why IHL is important. Very, very important.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and again, put it another.
Okay, thank you so much. That made a very clear explanation. From my
Thank you so much.
observation, I find out Nigeria state have declared war against us. Why would declare independence? But looking at the situation, we know the war court is not longer a hope for common man. Not to talk of we. Donald Trump purposely gave us that court, and they helped us to put our brother Chile over there to be in charge. And he invited Buhari there, hoping that the man would have been hung. But all to no avail, because we didn't have the financial might or negotiation power as a debt. So Nigeria and Britain can lobby any length and do whatever. So in as much as they don't make us relevant, we are not making the relevant. So we need to fight our wars, defend our territory, and take our freedom by our hands. It is called freedom fighting, not freedom begging or freedom negotiation. If we have what is to have, or even more than them, I don't think we'll call the outer world to look into our matter. Russia doesn't beg anybody to fight Ukraine. Israel doesn't beg anybody to fight Iran. Likewise, it's we. So I know that this lecture is very, very important and good to know. But we must all understand that at this critical time, even as you are traveling over Europe, do us a favor. We need links, we need machineries, we need materials, we need to do our work. We need to show them that yes, we are a nation. And that is what makes us a sovereign nation. Because as it stands, we know that there's no hope in Europe. It's only Chukwabia that's our strength.
Comrade,
we are fighting with the little we just have.
Mr. Putin, Mr. Putin, thank you so much. I don't think Dr. Abaga is here to give you anything on what you need or what you don't need. Just like before he asked,
my hand had been off for
For now,
Okay, go ahead.
for a while, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
To everyone here on the platform, especially excellent. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, ma? Yeah. All this war crime Nigeria is committing, starting from the genocide committed against Biafrans since 1967 to 1970 war, and is still going on as we are talking. What has the international community said, and what has the IHL said about it and against Nigerian states? This is my question.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to solve this issue because it looks as if there are some people here that when I speak, they are not understanding very well what I'm saying. And the good thing that is going to happen is that at the end of this training today, we have been here for more than 2 hours, 25 minutes. At the end of this training, I'm going to advise on how some of the documentations which you will have, maybe some at the end of the week, and going forward, you can transcribe them into the language that it will be easy to disseminate for people to read and understand. Because some of the questions that are being asked to me are not being asked to me like someone who is lecturing on IHL. There are questions which are technically not for me to respond to because that is not within the domain of the OEMs and the international community. That being said, let me make this very clear. I do not know about the retroactive nature of actions carried out by the ICC. I do not know whether action that has taken place more than 3, 4, 5, or 6 decades ago can be retroactively pursued by the ICC. So when we sit here, we are looking at actions that fall within the norms of international humanitarian law, and that can be prosecuted if brought forward and pass the litmus test by the International Criminal Court. So a genocide might have taken place. There is no doubt about that. But if the ICC was founded far many years before that genocide, and there is no law that covers that genocide, that genocide can only be an addendum to a legal complaint by the people of Biafra or whoever is launching a complaint of what is happening today. It can only be a reflection by the legal team to go back to it, but it will not be part of the charges you will lay. So I want to make that very clear because we should be able to guide our emotions, no matter how rightfully it might be, and our reasoning on this issue. And we should be able to be realistic. We should not make the job of the authorities of USB more complicated. I'm here only to tell you people, listen, you might have a cause you are pursuing. Please, in pursuing that cause, make sure you do not breach international humanitarian law. Make sure you do not create another problem for yourself. You already have a problem that you don't have the level of diplomacy that the state of Nigeria has. That is already against you. They have their tentacles on the ground that you don't have. That one is certain because reality is one thing. If you don't accept reality, you keep deceiving yourself, then you'll be doing the wrong thing. However, as you prosecute whatever you are prosecuting, these are things you must not do. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Yes, the enemy might be doing this. They might, in one way or the other, have 2 or 3 Biafran combatants in their keeping, and then they tie them, or they do not even tie them, they shoot them extrajudicially and kill them in point blank. And then you see it, and you think that maybe you have some Nigerian soldiers in your keeping. You want to pay them back. You drag those 3 Nigerian soldiers, put them outside, you shoot them, and then you take video, and then you say, we have just killed these 3 because you killed 3 of our own. No, you're putting yourself in trouble. Nigeria might even refuse that those who kill those those three Biafran combatants, they are not the ones. They might even go and tell lies that it is Biafran themselves who wore uniform, Nigerian uniform, and committed that crime. And that brings us to the reason why it is always important not to use the insignia of the other side, so that they don't use it over up tomorrow while they're committing crimes. They will commit crimes and say, no, you were the ones who used their insignia to commit those crimes. So your anger might be right that they have carried out a crime, extrajudicially shooting 3 combatants that they are supposed to protect as prisoners of war. You two want to commit the same thing. No, you can't do that. You can't. The law does not permit that. And then you do it again, and then you put it in the open. You are beating your chest that I've done it, because this is where most of these things are taking place. I'm the one who did it. If you do this again to us, we'll take more people and kill them too. I'm committing crimes. Because they will come in tomorrow and use all level of apparatus of any way, lies. Even they might even be telling truth and mixing it with a lot of lies and the rest, and they will throw it out there. And you might not have the capacity to defend some of those things, even though you are on the right.
They always know.
You have to be very smart. You have to be tactful. You have to know who the enemy is. You just have to respect the laws. The law doesn't stop you from defending yourself. However you want to defend yourself is your decision.
Yeah.
The only problem is respect the law, because the struggle will come to an end and the law will come after you, one way or the other. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, on that note,
Thank you so much, Dr. Wanda.
Madam DPM, I will give 30 more minutes to this training so that it will be 3 hours. That will be too long. There is something I want to handle which is very important.
Okay, go ahead, please. Is everyone hold your questions? Let's progress. We'll come back to the question.
The question I want to ask is, any of you have an idea of what they call non-international armed conflict? Is there anyone who has an idea of what they call non-international armed conflict? Let me define it. What is a non-international armed conflict? Oh, there was a hand up. You have an idea?
No, those hands were up before for questions.
Okay. What is a non-international armed conflict? This is under Article 3 of the Geneva Convention. So what do we call a non-international armed conflict? And I want you to take note of this, because it is very important. A non-international armed conflict refers to an armed conflict between government armed forces and one or more state armed groups, or between non-state armed groups only within the same country. Let me put it again. That a non-international armed conflict. They did not say that civil war. Don't mistake it. Because people always mix these words. They did not say there's a civil war. They are saying non-international armed conflict. It's a conflict between the armed forces, that's the government armed forces of a country, and one or more non-state armed groups in that same country, or an ongoing fighting between non-state armed groups within the same country, not out of that country. So, when you look at it under international law, do you think your conflict falls as a non-international armed conflict?
Yeah, let me quickly, again, the non-international armed conflict does not fall, it does not affect us. It does not, you can say pre-declaration of the United States of Biafra government currently is a full-fledged nation that has met the conditions of a nation based on the international Montevideo laws. Anyone can dispute that or agree that. So we are 2 nations right now, sister nation, Nigeria and the United States of Biafra government. So the USB as a full-fledged nation, we may not have had all the documents from the United Nations. United Nations may not recognize the United States of Biafra government, but with our declaration, with the referendum conducted, with the meeting with the people for the state, but our homeland, where we have been able to meet those criteria of the people, definitely it does not apply to us. And sorry, whoever, yeah, this does not international conflict. What we exist right now is Nigeria is currently occupying a foreign land. We have declared our independence, whether anyone agrees to that or not. And what again is applying is the colonization of the Biafran people, which under the United Nations charters, we have the right to decolonize our country. So that does not apply to us.
There's a noise in the background. Can you please mute yourself?
Please mute yourself if you are. So I want to add more on that. The evidence gathering. Again, I would encourage all Biafrans anywhere at homeland in the 40 states to continue to gather pictures of Nigeria occupation. I know that, like somebody spoke earlier, they have some of their their vans and military vans in Biafra territory, which we have formally let them know about our independence. They don't have to agree to that. We're not begging to agree. We're not soliciting for them. But continue to gather those pictures where you have Nigerian elements, either the reintegrated terrorists that are wearing their military and police uniforms in police stations that have Nigerian insignia. I want to use the opportunity to tell Biafrans to continue to collect those evidences, because those are some, and then where they are running the homes of Biafran people, we need more. Just like Dr. Matsari said, we need more of those evidences, and then in the area of non-international, definitely not. United States of Biafra does not fall within that parameter. Go ahead. Thank you so much.
Is there someone who wanted to add something to that?
Oh yeah, I think somebody wanted to ask the question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, I want to add here. My DPR has said it all. Ordinarily, it is the violence, and it's the violence that we are in our Biafra. Let me give an example. It's like in October 29 last year, Hamas just took a war to Israelites, unprovoked. Now we are in our land, and if you go to this non-internet, ordinarily it is Nigeria that is looking for our trouble, because this has to be a structure and control over a territory. Biafra is a territory on its own. So they are the one bringing it to us, and even we agreed to be together. It's just like which country will I give example? Like Russia and this country that is fighting. They want to take over.
Ukraine, you want to say?
Yes, Ukraine. Russia want to control Ukraine, and Ukraine said no. That is non-international conflict. So that is exactly what is happening in Biafra. I am very aware, and I think this matter is, when I learned about it, was my instructor then said it was 1977. It was 1977 that this law came out. So I took my time to study about it. So not to take our time, the Nigerian state is the one making us to look as if we are violent, while we are not. So that one bringing it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I would not want to. I asked this question for a particular reason. I would not want to delve into it, to go deeper or further into it, because it was not the purpose of the lectures I want to have. I wanted to take the studies in a certain way based on Article 3 of the Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilian persons in times of war, because it falls within this realm in times of war. How you call yourself, what you think about yourself is your decision. If somebody says I'm independent, it's the way the person thinks in his head. The way the law sees it is also different. You might break the law and then you still argue that you have not broken the law because to you, you are thinking that you have not broken the law, and then the law is saying that well, you break the law. So it depends on how you defend yourself and how you argue it out. So those are quite a different set of issues. However, Article 3 of the Geneva Convention is the core of why we are here, and it is on the basis of, listen, there are things we don't need to do in times of war. So this is what is going to happen as we are rounding up this training, which of course has been very successful, especially the last 3 sessions. The number of questions and the type of questions that were being asked were very, very important questions. So you are going to have a couple of documents which I will be able to send. I know you guys have the machinery to reproduce stuff and find a way to send them out. And in certain instances, you can teach IHL in the dialect, in the area where the people will understand. IHL does not have a particular language. The language of IHL is not English or French. The language of IHL is the do not in times of war. That is its only language. So whether you are speaking it in the traditional Igbo language or what, it doesn't really matter much in that domain. So we should be able to pick it up from that end and understand that that's what we have to do. You see this book here, Code of Conduct for Combatants. Everything here that you have learned so far is inside here in pictorial form. So we can also draft that. But what is good about this small booklet is that the back of it is first aid. There are particular types of first aid that occurs, especially during times of war. This is it. That is so important that will save lives. So the back part will have first aid here. That is going to show you the type of things that you can do as first responders before maybe the person is moved to a bigger hospital or something of that nature. So I have just a few copies. They are not here, they are in the continent. And I've told the TPM, I will get some copies. Some copies will have to go down to the homeland. And then definitely you guys will have a means to duplicate. I wish we'll have a means to get more copies because to get them in was not easy by the ICRC. This is produced by the ICRC. So, and it's key. It's key to what to do. It's brief, just point form. It's just point form. And there are key elements here that are inside the certificate that are going to be issued to you. What we call the combat rules. Fight only combatants or those who are fighting you. Attack only military targets. Spare civilian persons and objects. Limit destruction to what your mission requires. These are the basic principles for IHL. No matter how you expatiate on them, this is what they are. Fight only combatants or those that are fighting you. Attack only military targets. Spare civilian persons and objects. The word there is spare because there could be issues that can take place where innocent lives might be lost. But they say spare civilian persons and objects. That is where the issue of distinction and proportionality comes in. Limit destruction to what your mission requires. You listen to that video where the mission is talking about you deciding to destroy a particular bridge because you think that bridge is being used by the enemy to bring in supplies into your area. Then it also brings the issue of proportionality. You need to think, am I going to, or is it of military necessity if I destroy this bridge or not? You remember that maybe it's a bridge where civilians are using it more than the military, either to take people to emergency, to the hospital, or to farms and all the rest. So you have to bring so many things to think about before you take those decisions. That is why decisions you have to take are critical. You don't just take them out of emotion. You think and think out of the box. Because the first port of call is to protect the people you say you are fighting for. If you do anything to harm them, they will never be in touch with you. They will never want to be with you. They will be afraid of you, but that fear will be misunderstood for love. And when you misunderstood that fear for love, that is when you are open. That is when your enemy will penetrate you. So you should do whatever it takes to limit your people from thinking that the other side is preferable to you. Because if they think it is better for them to die within the other side, running their own affairs, than to die in your hands, then you have technically lost, no matter your bravery and all your energy and everything. And that is where IHL comes in. IHL is there to help you make them see the different light. Because they see that you are serious, you know what you are doing, and you are prepared to defend them. And let them also know how they will defend themselves while you are defending them. So that is your goal. You don't make them to be afraid of you, and you consider that fear to be an issue of respect or love. That becomes dangerous because at that time you will not even know who the real enemy is. As one of our brother here said, that the enemies within are more than the enemies without. So you have copies of this. We have some other write-ups which I'm working on at the moment. And I want to make sure that we are done with them, and then we will send them that you people will be able to make sure you distribute them. Also, if there's any other questions now on the issues we've discussed, we can talk about it first.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kwanga. And then before we take the questions, we already have a list of the people.
I'm going to be 1 second.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you. While we wait for him to come, we already have the list of all the people that participated in the IHL trainings in the United States of Biafra, both before and today, and the other trainings. And I know the Defense Department already have a compilation of all the list of the people that have participated in these trainings that will issue the certificates for this training. We also have the trainers, which have also received more trainings. And the essence of that is that they will continue to train their states, their counties, their districts, and their commands, and their different wards. So this training goes to the grassroots to help the United States of Biafra as a nation be one of the best. That is what we strive for. That is our target, to be one of the best countries in Africa and one of the best countries in the world. As Dr. Kwanga has said, there are so many, we are not here to talk about how the Nigerian state commits the crimes, does not obey international humanitarian laws. That is not the focus of this training. Also, we are not here to talk about who is obeying the law, who is not obeying the law, because he has actually said that because these laws exist does not mean that some people are going to obey the law. And he gave the instances. And all of us here that are from the United States of Biafra, we know the instances where Nigeria breaks the law. Currently, just for the mere fact that Nigeria is currently in Biafra land, in the foreign state of Biafra, they are committing a crime. That is why we need all the pictures of Nigerian elements, whether they are wearing Nigerian military uniform, police uniform, whether they are occupying the Biafran barracks, the Biafran military barracks, or the Biafran police stations in the DSS. We need the pictures, please, to continue to take those pictures and send it to us, send it to the Defense Department, send it to myself, send it to Kondi. All these pictures, all this current occupation of the foreign land, we need to start putting it together. And when we have these Nigerian states at our roads, extracting money from our people, at the bus stations, at the main roads, there they stop and say, please continue to gather the pictures, the videos, and forward them to us. Those are some of the things we are looking for. And then before we take the questions, I wanted to also remind the Biafra Defense, majority of you that are here, we are very, very proud of what you do. The compartment, again, when you see some Biafrans that keep trying to distort the narrative by trying to say, oh, we want to see what you're doing. If we don't see it, that means you're not doing anything. When Nnamdi Kanu was saying he did this, when Obasanjo was saying he did this, you know? So when they use those parameters, all they are trying to do is to use the Nigerian plot, the way the Nigerian government has used to hurt our people, and will never allow that to happen anymore. Nigeria state reintegrates non-terrorists into this indigenous state. That is why today Nigeria is regarded as the most dangerous country in the world for Christians to live. And every sensible country in the world has privately, publicly supported the breakup of Nigeria. That is exactly why the United States of Biafra has exited from Nigeria. So again, I want to thank Dr. Kwanga for that training, and then we are going to go ahead. Again, I wanted to correct something somebody said as far as the submission of documents, submission of evidences. I'd like to let everyone listening to me that our Prime Minister Matobia submitted thousands of booklets of evidences of the criminality of the killings of the Nigerian state to the Finland authorities. So what we are seeing is the collusion of people to, but again, we are breaking that by the second. So we are doing everything we are doing to ensure that no Nigerian state invades any land of Biafra. And this international humanitarian law is something that I truly appreciate that, and I know Biafran defense and Biafran leaders, we truly appreciate this, because some of the things we don't know, we learn every day. Some of us have been involved in these trainings severally, but every day we learn, and we are very appreciative, and we thank Dr. Akwanda for what you bring to the table. Again, it's not to train you what to do, how to fight, how to defend your land, how to do. It's just to train us to know these are the laws that are inherent. And because Nigeria continues to break this law, does not mean that the United States of Biafra government will also join them in breaking the law. But we must do everything within our capacity based on international and local law and specific things that are culturally applied to our people. We will continue to use that for self-defense, which is the basic right of the people to defend themselves. We'll go ahead and take the question. Technocare for Zena. We'll just take those 4 questions and we'll call it a day today. Go ahead with your questions to Techno. Techno, go ahead, unmute yourself. Hey, Sayamo. Go ahead, Sayamo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, DPN. My name is Jeremiah FLA from Ura State. So, please, the question I want to ask, like sometimes when a conflict is going on, you will find out that your enemies, they will run into some like event halls where there is a crowd, where there is population. They will run into those places for hiding. So, like you going after these people, once you enter there, what approach will you use to approach those in such centers for them to know that such person is there and for their own safety, and how to approach them to make sure the person is being apprehended in such place without hurting the civilians?
When someone is in the course of war, most often, things don't easily happen that way, but they happen like if you are pursuing a single individual who committed a crime. He can move into an occupied space because he's trying to look for protection and a means, an escape route.
Yes.
So it's an issue of technicality. You have to be technical. If it is a police pursuit, the police will act differently. They will cordon the area, which means the entire area will be encircled. That person is not going to be there forever and ever. And when they encircle the entire area, what do you think the person will do? The person is surely going to take a family hostage. He will move into a room, into a house, and make sure nobody goes out. Because at this time, he's not taking that family hostage because he wants to take them hostages. He's afraid to die, unfortunately. So he wants to protect himself, that he should not be arrested. But he will take that family hostage and it will only be for a number of hours. Well, God might smile that hostage taking my end up well. It might also end up in a very bad way that if the people decide that they want to break in to pick up that enemy, it might kill the rest of the people there, and before they shoot him, he has already committed another atrocity. So some of these things are very technical, but they normally happen in situations where it doesn't really have much, like we say, to do with IHL. It has more to do with the issue, like we talk of the issue of proportionality. These are the key words. You have the principle of distinction during wartime. You have the principle of proportionality during wartime. You have the principle of military necessity during war. These are the three major issues. Then everything that deals with IHL technically falls within this area. Principle of proportionality, principle of distinction comes first. Proportionality second, military necessity comes then. Military necessity is mostly where the commanders on the ground, they have to take decisions. If the main commander is not there, then whether it's a captain, it's a lieutenant, it's a corporal, or who is leading that unit, has to make sure it's a principle of military necessity. You need to ask yourself, does militarily it necessitates us to invade this house only because we need to pick up one person or two persons? It's a question you must ask yourself. It is like you are weighing the pros and the cons. Let me put it this other way. When you are fighting, this is a technique. It's not what I needed, I'm supposed to say, but let me put it this way. When you are fighting, and you know that your enemy has an upper hand better than you, they have mechanized method of moving, that is cars, armor cars, and other means. You don't have that. And even if you have that, you can't move with it easily because of your notion, the way you operate. You are operating in either a semi-guerrilla tactical warfare method, and while your enemy is operating in a more conventional warfare method. And these two cannot align. Conventional warfare can hardly win guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare hardly wins conventional warfare, but can penetrate and impact serious harm to conventional warfare. And that is what has happened mostly around the world. So now what do? You know that the enemy is always passing around you around 6 a.m. and all whatnot. Then you are coming with a unit of 10. You see the enemy coming. And then you ask yourself a question. This is the right time to attack. I am talking of what we call military necessity. You are saying, this is the right time to attack. Then you need to ask yourself questions. Now, what do we have? What are we carrying at this moment? If we attack them, are we sure we'll be able to achieve our military objective by attacking them here at this moment? Are we going to ground them? Are we going to decimate them? Or is it just like taking a broomstick to hit a rattlesnake or a python? So those are the questions you must ask yourself. If you think that attacking them at this moment, this particular day, will not make you achieve your military objective, because the objective maybe is that it is a mechanized Nigerian unit of about 5 cars that normally passes there. That day they were just about 3 cars. You don't know where the other 2 are. You don't know whether they might be somewhere still coming for backup. And you are thinking that you should attack them. So you are thinking out of the box. You might say, okay, no, we will not attack them. This is what I call military necessity. We are not going to attack them. What we will do is we will let them have freedom to pass to and fro, so that they will feel free and they will not think that we have any unit around the area. We are going to prepare ourselves very well. And the next time we will get them, we'll make sure that we decimate them. You are not thinking from a military objective way that this is the way we are going to act. So those are issues for the people on the ground. It has nothing to do with IHL. That is your own thinking. How you have to be smart. What do you achieve from this action? Are you going to achieve your goal, or you are instead going to create a situation where maybe you want to attack them and not the bush? Ask yourself that question. And where you want to attack them is not far from the village. What do you think they will do next? If you do not even succeed in your attack in the right way, where do you think your anger is going to tend to? Is it not to the village? When you do that, then you back off. You fall back for protection. They will come in now with anger at that particular moment, and everybody in the village, from the little babies to the oldest, they become victims because they will come in with that rage and attack everybody. So you are going to say, no, maybe I will not attack them when they are closer to this village. I will attack them in an area where I think they are not around any village, so that they will not think that the villagers are giving me support. They are giving support to my units and make them to pay for what they have not done. So you have to be smart, because whatever action you are thinking about your people. The enemy will want to hit you where it is so soft, and where it is softer is your people that you want to protect. If they cannot get to you, don't get to your people. So your actions that you want to do at that time, you need to look at the consequences of what you might have to think like your enemy. What will happen if you were in their position? Will you not be able to take an advantage that they attack you at the entrance of this village? It means these villagers are involved in this attack. You would think that the people who attacked you came from that village. They might not even be from the village. They're coming from a unit that is far off somewhere else. So that is what you have to be smarter. You have to think out of the box in doing this. So that has
Dr. Maskoki, sorry. Let me
go ahead.
According to the question he asked, it has nothing to do with IHL. What he asked is forensic, security forensic. That is forensic studies. That is different lesson on its own. Because when you are talking about forensic studies, it has to deal with issues like you are chasing a criminal, you enter church, someone steals something, you start investigating how to take precaution not to wound others or not to make others scared. So it's a lesson. Maybe I will take my time one certain day. I will teach them that if time permits me. That is a security and forensic studies. I learned all these things very well. I am very good in a military work. So it doesn't have, it has nothing to do with IHL at all. That is security, forensic. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Excellency, greetings. Doctor, I thank you for your teaching. But I have just a little question. Now, well, my name is Double Angel, Commander Ratakanji, State of Owerri. I'm asking now, as now we are in self-defense, because when we call war, this is not engagement. That maybe we are at the battlefield, at the border, the territory. And these people, they wear army uniform, they wear police uniform, they come to our farmland, kill our mothers, our brothers, and our sisters. So are we going to still leave them to kill us? So I know your teaching is very good, but I thought that very teaching would be when everything is settled and then we as soldiers will come and repeat. But as of now, I don't think that any of them can come to our farmland and kill our brothers and sisters and go free. We cannot allow them, cannot leave them. Even if they are wearing soldier uniform or police uniform, or they have been shot on the leg, or this international community say no, that they are now doing us what they're not supposed to do. And we cannot be in our house, in our home. They come here and kill us and go free. No, we can't allow them. I think we are at Thank you. That's my question.
Thank you so much. But if you listen well, when Dr. Akwande was talking about the reasons, a summary of what he said, when he discussed about fight only combatants, attack only military targets, or in this case, the reintegrated terrorist targets established by the Nigerian government in Biafra land, sparing civilians and persons and objects, limiting destruction for your mission. Those, I think, I can't wait to get that book, because we need to read that over and over. And then the trainers, again, what basically he talks about is international humanitarian laws, and it is so much to learn there. So again, I hear when you say because Nigeria is breaking the law, does not mean that we, Biafrans, are going to also break the law. But I think the clear message is, like he said, the IHL is not telling you not to fight or to fight. That's not what the training is about. It's not telling you not to defend your land or not. That is not what it is about. He's just there to give the specifics of what all of us, including our defense, needs to know when we are engaging in those major parts of the United States of Biafran defense. In the process of doing that, those things like fighting only the combatant, currently Nigeria is occupying a foreign land. That is a crime on its own. No Nigeria element, police or army is supposed to be in Biafra land as we speak currently. So that is a crime on its own already. And then the other things he's talking about, limiting the destruction to what your mission requires. Our mission is to protect Biafra land, to ensure that there's no integrated terrorists wearing Nigerian military police in our land. I think he clearly defines that again. Like he said, we don't want to be angry when we are expressing ourselves. It's more of tactful, targeted, and then being able to defend our land. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to begin. I just have been to answer that because I heard that when you was talking about. Honorable Kwacha, go ahead, please.
Okay,
sorry, Fandi, go ahead.
I don't want to say anything. I just want, we're going to end up in, after Honorable Watcher, because that's what we said, and then some other people are raising their hands. We're not going to be here forever. Please, you stated that, Watcher. Now, just,
Again,
Thank you very much. Thank you, my DPM. Thank you, Fandi. Thank you, all the honorable cabinet members present. I thank you, my commanders here, taking this lesson. Especially thank you, Dr. Panda, for this wonderful training that you're providing for us today. So, I'm Engineer Kocha, the Secretary of Defense for USB. Now, the training, this is a follow-up because we had this training before, and I believe the USB men on ground are our angels. We have been doing very, very well in following the laws of IHL. Since the last training, we've been imparting that training to them, and our bi-weekly training that we follow up on that IHL laws. So, because as you know, Nigerian state is a terrorist state. They employ all these integrated terrorists from Sahel. Would put them in their uniform and send them down to the south and the Biafra land to commit mayhem, commit genocidal attacks against our people, especially civilians. So of course that makes me wonder, because this law is meant for those fighting for their freedom. We have documented many atrocities and genocidal attacks in Biafra land and been filed with the United Nations. And there's not been no redress at all. It's like they have the money to buy off those in charge in the United Nations, so they don't even bring their case up. Because this shouldn't be continuing, but it is continuing because we don't have representation there, and we're supposed to or just ignore us and keep coming to kill us. But does not matter that even though they're coming to kill us, we still have to obey the law. And of course, if we don't obey the law, we end up taking the brunt of the punishment because we don't have the reach that they do. So I just want to talk to my commanders. Please don't be, just be assured because we're not doing anything illegal. Okay, they're coming to us to kill us, and we must defend ourselves. And because self-defense is allowed, even though under the convention law and convention. So all I can say is that let's keep doing what we're doing. We stop from showing up on social media. We don't have to show, like I've been saying, we don't show what we do to defend ourselves on social media. So I know some people want to see things, it's like they love to see, things like that in social media, but we are disciplined. And that's why we bring discipline all the time. You have to be disciplined, make sure the things we do to defend ourselves, we don't show it on social media. So, of course, they don't show theirs. And they kill us and they blame us. They come and say, oh, it's them themselves, killing themselves. And that's a lie. So that's why I have to document all the evidences that we see, all the bombing that is coming rain on civilian homes, burning of homes, houses that belong to civilians. So our men do not live in houses. We are in the bush. So they will come and burn houses, burn civilian homes, kill children and women in their homes. So, of course, we know we report all those things. But I just hope that one day the United Nations will see to do something about it. But we're not going to wait on that. We have to keep defending ourselves. I just want to thank you very much for the training today and in the future. And thank you, DPM. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Porcher. Just like we rightly said, I believe that we will continue to educate the world. We will continue to send more evidences, just like Dr. Panda has said. We already have more than enough evidences all over. And again, we are not going to devote our whole life gathering evidences and accepting. The evidences of the Nigerian massacre of the United States of Biafra people, the Aba massacre, was documented when innocent unarmed Biafrans, the war white and white, just marched on the streets of Aba just for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and the Nigerian state shot and killed many of the unarmed Biafrans just because they were marching. They shot them with live bullets. We have the Head Bridge massacre. We have the Obibo massacre. We have the Mpo massacre. We have the Nnamdi Kanu's house massacre. We have the Ihamufu massacre. All these are well documented, and I know all these evidences have been sent to the appropriate authorities. We have the massacre of the Niger Delta. So again, we all know what Nigeria wants, the crude oil in Biafra land. We will stop them from getting it. It's a promise. We already know that this massacre will not stop until the people start defending themselves and defending their lands. That's exactly what we will continue to do as an independent nation. Post declaration in Finland, I tell Biafrans what the United States of Biafra was pre-November 29th and what we are immediately after 29th of November 2024 has changed. The game has changed. And that is why we are no more talking. Nnamdi Kanu has stopped, Wazirike has stopped, Ojukwu has stopped, PM has stopped. We are a free nation now. We are not going to talk to anyone. They will just be hearing our sound. We must continue to defend ourselves. Legally, I believe Nigeria is hearing from us, and we will continue to protect our land. So, the United States of Biafra defense, what I know that this training is very critical. We need that. All the leaders of Biafra land, we need that, so that we know what the rules of engagement are. Even though the other party, Nigeria, may not be following that, there are other trainings again that we conduct for the United States of Biafra defense. So I want us all to be aware of that training. So we take those questions and then we go. Galaxy, go ahead, please. Galaxy AO3, go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hello, Honorable DPM, Her Excellency. I thank you so much for organizing this follow-up of the IHL training, and all the members of cabinet present, and all the commanders and everyone else present in this training today. I just want to say that based on the original the previous trainings that we have had, the IHL training, there are some videos that have surfaced online, which I believe that our men on the ground, our commanders, have really taken to heart what they've learned from the IHL training on how you treat captured combatants. There was a video where they were showing someone in good health who was captured, and the commander was showing that this person is in good health, is not being tortured or maltreated. And I was very glad to see that video. And Dr. Akwanga, one of the questions that was asked in the previous IHL training was, how do we do a prison exchange? I know somebody in that previous training asked you about the Red Cross. If we have their people, where we had explained to you that we had captured someone at one point and they were sent across with fare, cab fare, transportation back to their village. You said no, that we have to contact the Red Cross. If there comes a situation where we have someone in custody, that you can arrange or teach us how to contact the Red Cross, so that also goes towards our record that we are not violent people, that our commanders are doing what they're supposed to do. So my question is, there they are. There's evidence to show it. So the people in custody now, that our commanders have in custody, showing them that they are being taken care of, how do we make contact with the Red Cross or take credit? You use the word credit. How do we take credit for what we have achieved so far based on the IHL training? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. First, you've raised two important things, and thank you for bringing up this issue. There is a place where something that has been done following IHL has equally been done against the rules of law during wartime. This might sound funny, but this is the reality. What do I mean? When you have prisoners of conscience and you call them prisoners of war with you, the real rules stipulate that you do not have to expose them in public. It looks funny. For example, you don't take a video of them or pictures of them and put out there in public. The purpose that was done was to prove that a good job is being done. That is why I made the statement, have it recorded. Have it recorded. Though I know it's going against the rules, but because of the too much negativity that is going against your people on the ground, this is where you call it conscious omission of the law comes into place. When the boys are saying, listen, people are saying that we are catching people, we are killing them, we have prisoners of war, we just butcher them. This is an example. We take good care of them and the rest. The law actually permits that even a prisoner of war that is in the camp of prisoners of war, whether they are 10,000 or what, you are not supposed to take pictures of them and circulate. They are more like, I don't want to use the word an endangered species, the way they are supposed to be treated. Whether it is Biafran combatants who are being held by Nigeria and vice versa. But I know Nigeria will never follow these rules because Nigeria will think it will be an opportunity probably to humiliate those combatants and use it as a means to frighten further combatants from Biafran side. So that is the part I want to see. Now, where do you have your benefit? When you have them, if you don't put their pictures out there, but you know you are doing this. It is those contacts you said. To contact the ICRC is not a problem. How they will decide will remain on them. So when that time comes and there is a situation like that, we will be able to say, okay, reach out to this person at the ICRC and tell them that you are this and that, this is what is going on. I think after we would have issued a certificate, that will be the next line of action that we'll be able to take with the USB, and then they will get to the defense team and they'll know what to do. It is vital, even if it is one single prisoner of war that is of active service in the Nigerian military that was caught in the time of their operation in your area, and you want to release them, I can tell you that it will pay a lot. Just that single phone call or contact with the ICRC will pay a lot. Because whether the ICRC reacts positively or not, immediately, it will get into the records that this took place. And the moment you call the ICRC, make sure you always record your stuff. You're not recording it to put it out in public. That is why I say this is not for propaganda. That is also what shows responsibility. But you need to make sure you have recording of this. And you keep it in a more protective way. Don't just leave it in your phone. Because the phone is missing and you have those recording, it's gone. So you make sure important recordings like this, you have various copies kept in different areas. That if a combatant keeping it false in the communication department or what, it is still easy to retrieve it from other sources. Because you need it tomorrow one way or the other. So that is how you do it. Putting out that picture, I understand where it's coming from. Ambassadors are doing that always, even when they are advised not to. But that is not always the best way. I can assure you that that individual, when released, the message that individual will carry will be bigger than any other publicity that you people can put out there. Just that his or her life has been spared. The treatment that is going on, that individual goes back and tells the story of that these people are not animals. They have a reason why they are fighting for. That is why we keep saying it is always for your own good to treat the other side so well when you have them in your custody. It's for your own good.
Yeah, that was great. Again, thank you so much for that clarification. I'm not sure that was by USB, but there was somebody that wanted to raise hand. He want to ask question, but I think it's been battling with he doesn't know how to raise hand. Go ahead and ask your question, please. If your voice can come out. I know it's one of the
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm the one that asked that question last lecture. When a lecturer told us that you can also as well the RRG and the IHL can also go into the exam if Nigeria will push to the meaningful, just like I asked, can we use them to
Dr. Kwanga, the number for the Red Cross, are you going to give it to them?
When we are done with the certificate, I will not just give
you. Okay, great.
I don't need to give you a number because it will cost you more headache. I will do just like what I did with Masanga. I'm going to get a contact, talk to the contact, and then it is the contact directly. That's what I will do. Someone who will know that the communication is coming from you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think you keep going up and down. You're not coming up here. Darlington, 2 minutes, please. Make your questions short so we can round up, please.
Good evening, ABM. Good evening, Dr. Aponga. From my depth of my heart, I'm grateful for joining today's meeting. We have talked about many things. IHL.
We cannot hear you. You're not coming out.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
This is Darlington speaking. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
All right. For what you just said, it is very necessary for we to take proper actions and kind of reputation to tell ourselves exactly what's meant by IHL. The fundamental properties, that is the primary factors about it that we all here know exactly the area you are coming from. It is not difficult for us to go through it. But the most problem we are having is people we are dealing with. These are the animals. These people, they don't even understand the humanitarian law of self-determination. They don't know anything about it. As our said, it's not the problem by beings to know and they obey the exact rule of an international humanitarian law, IHL. But the problem is that people we are dealing something with, these are the basic way, these are the basic fundamental way we have to fit ourselves out. Because these people are not human. Frankly speaking, they are not human. Then when you are saying something, say that if it is possible for we to apprehend our enemies, not by killing them, making them, maybe giving them injury, but by safeguarding their life, because life is more important than any other thing on earth. Okay, we can as well do that because in our heart here, we the Biafra, we don't like blood, we don't share blood. We can do that, but these people, oh God, so terrible, so frustrating. These people, you can't do something with them. You can never spend a night, a week with these people. That's tired. Okay, you can imagine what is happening in our land today. Are you telling me that if I see those people, all terrorists carry AK-47 in my own farmland, in my own village, in my own house, are you saying that I should just give them a room for me to know if they will repent or not? People that know that they have thousands of my people. These are
Commander Darlington, I think that falls under self-defense. Again, we don't want to be, we have talked enough, we've heard enough. This is no longer the time to talk. Just like the Nigerian terrorist state continues to kill Biafrans, again, the essence of this training is to ensure that we all are fully aware of what the rules are. Like Dr. Kwanda says, just like somebody, when you're playing football, there is a referee. And what is the job of that referee? I think I'll always remember this. The job of the referee is not telling you not to score goal on the other side or put the ball on the net of the other side, or the other side to put the net on your side. That is not the job of the IHL. That's why I will always remember the word. This training is like the referee. What the referee does is not to stop you from defeating your enemy either way. What it does is to tell you that if you're playing football, there are rules that pertains to both groups. Both groups may not follow that rule, but we Biafrans, the USD, we know the rules. And if one of the rules says you cannot use your two hands to touch football, once you do that, that means the whistle will blow. Those are what I think the IHL is about. You know the rules. It's not stopping you to put the ball on the net of anyone. So again, I think that will answer your question. I don't want, just like the defense secretary has said, we don't want to be angry at this IHL training because for some people it may be that why trying to, I understand based on our history, based on our context, based on we are dealing with a country that does not follow the rules of engagement at all. Some of the rules that have been said here, they break it with impunity. So again, because they break it doesn't mean we are going to break it. But as far as defending our land, we will do it with every single blood in our life. And
let me have, because we need to let me have.
Yes, go ahead.
One of the things I want most of you people to know, you might have read a lot of things if you have the time about me on the internet. I am one person that, from a personal perspective, I should be able to guard myself with all types of weapons the struggle. But you see, life is not like that. Life is not like that. Me, I've been jailed for 20 years. I've been sexually molested by female military officers. I've been fed with human feces and human feces for 2 weeks as food to eat. Human urine for 2 weeks. I've been put on a balance, so I've gone through mock execution for as long as, in fact, I suffered paralysis of my lower limb for 3 years while in prison. However, that does not mean that with all of that suffering that I've gone through, I should just come out now, pick up a gun, go out and butcher anything that is Cameroon. You can't operate like that in this world. You can't. And I should know that whatever I do will have an impact on my own family and the people I'm working with. That is why we keep telling you people, I know the hot blood most of you people have. Some of you don't even have that blood before me. I carried weapons long time ago to defend myself. You don't have that blood. What I'm trying to let you know is simple. That everything you do on the ground, which is taking absolute risk, remember that you are not doing it for you alone. The moment you let your anger override you, know that the action you are taking is not going to only affect you emotionally. It will affect even your own people who are not there at that time. If it becomes a legal issue, the ramifications will go far, far, far and wide. As I'm sitting here from your commander, I'm outside of Biafra land, and I give you order to go invade one man's house, bring out the person, sexually molest the wife and every female that is there, and shoot all of them on the head. And you, the commander who goes and carry out that action, you are the one physically doing it, emotionally doing it, and doing that killing. I'm just giving this as an example. So there are times you think out of the box as an individual. That does not mean that the other side is holy, is a sin. No, that is not what I'm sitting here. I'm not here taking sides for Nigeria or for Biafra. I'm only telling you that at the battlefield, so many things might happen. We know that the sound of the gun alone can irritate you, can orientate the way you think in certain instances. However, as the DPM said, IHL is just telling you, listen, these are the guidelines. Do whatever you want to do, but these are the norms. In a football match, as he said, apart from when they score a goal when there's celebration, every time the referee sounds his whistle, there is an infringement. Every time. There must be a reason. If it is a throw-in, it's an infringement. The ball went out of the field. If a goal kick, it's an infringement. You kick somebody, it's an infringement. The infringement now goes into categories from yellow card to red card. That is the same way IHL is. There is the gravity of the laws. And when you go to face justice, the gravity of the laws will come based on the sentences as the gravity is. So what are we saying? We're not saying that you should be afraid to fight. We're not saying that you should be afraid to defend your whole life. We are only saying that there are rules and regulations, even in something like killing one another. Because that's the purpose of war. War is to kill one another. That's the reality. But even in killing one another, there are rules and regulations. Those who do execution, states, when a country wants to execute somebody, there are still rules and regulations, true or false. They take you into the room, they say they give you your last meal, you need to take your shower, do you have something to say? They bring somebody to pray for you, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, and then all that blah, 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 how they will put you on the gunny, they put the injection or what method. There are rules. The one that is firing squad, they have a rules that they must cover your face or whatsoever. So even in killing, unfortunately, that is how we human beings are. Even in an act that is going to kill people, maim people, make some people to become totally physically useless in life, there is still rules and regulations. And we must respect those rules and regulations. That's all for IHL. It doesn't stop you as a commander or anybody from taking actions. There are actions that you have to take based on what is in front of you. My goal here is to tell you this IHL. So you don't need to come and tell me that if you need to take this action or not. No, I'm not teaching military strategy here. I'm only telling you here that, look, my people, whatever you are doing, try to make sure you don't break these rules for your own good and for the good of your strong. That is our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that will bring us to the end of this training. And know there are a couple of hands still up, but again, we have been having these trainings. We'll continue to have these trainings. Yep. Each time we're going to do that, we'll continue to invite. I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the United States of Biafra government to thank the OEAS for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Dr. Kwanda, for taking out your time to teach us not just what the rules are, but also from your own personal experience that will be a model. I see that as a model for us all to learn from. And again, I thank you so much with the cabinet members and with the defense, with all the deference that are here present, again, that are going to be eventually be trainers in the different sections. And we are hoping for the next part of the training which you are going to come up with. I will be very, very happy to be part of that process. Again, for those that participated in this training, I would like you to send your information to Honorable Ola Obunda. I know she's been compiling all the names of the people that has been that's participated in these trainings for their certifications and all that, and we will be working on those certifications. I don't know, Dr. Kwanda, if you have any other thing to say on a final note before we close?
No, I will be in the continent, and we'll try to make sure that by this weekend, unless otherwise the certifications are ready, you get them. And then the documents, we'll try to see how we can get some copies down to Biafra land, what we have. And then we'll try to also get, I think, 2 copies to you, one way or the other. Any other documentation to be sent also online. And then from there, I'll try to see whether we can get renew our contacts at the ICRC headquarters in Geneva, and then link them up so that we are able to liaise and see exactly what to do. But like as I said, please make sure you continue to do the training on the ground, continue to record those trainings. As you record them, whether they are short recordings or what, always make sure you send it to your team that is abroad. Let them have copies of it so that they don't get missing. Record them. Don't be scared of recording your training of IHL. Whether you are teaching it in the Igbo language, in any of the languages in Biafra land, or in English, record them. Make sure the people understand what you are saying, and make sure they can ask you questions you explain to them. And when it is IHL, teach IHL. Don't go out of IHL. Don't try to overdo it your way. Just break it down. Just tell them that this is the way you have to behave. This is the way we have to behave. This is how we have to act. That is what is important. Any other thing you do on the ground and what, that is your cup of tea. But make sure you continue to do the training. It's important. Anytime the USB is ready, going forward, we'll still have another training, because it's important that you have it in record that you do this, you do renewal courses, because the state is doing that also. As much as it doesn't matter the crime they're committing, they're supposed to do our law. Every state is doing that. In the US here, they're learning IHL. It's part and parcel of the courses. They bring people back to teach them that. They bring them back to do that training for them, and then they send them back into the field. So you will have this, like as I said, you have the first aid here. This is the first aid section is here, and then here you will have the code of conduct for combatants, and then you will have some other guidelines that I will send. And you treat them with absolute importance, because it is key at this moment. It might help you, if you do your work very well, it might help further reunify you people and bring you people together than any other thing. Then mark you, IHL is not here to tell you that you don't have the right to defend yourself. So don't misquote IHL anywhere. IHL is only here to tell you, whatever you are doing, these are things you must not do in the course of doing it. So thank you all for coming. Today there were more than 150 people. This is extremely exciting, and it is important. Imagine that 150 people become foot soldiers in training other trainers for IHL. Then within a very short time, thousands and thousands of nationals of Biafra will be able to get IHL training. And it is also incumbent that Madam GPM, you make it a sine qua non for your team, which is out of Biafra land, to treat it with absolute importance, that they keep keeping that in mind in their individual contacts with those on the ground, especially those in the defense. It's very vital. Thank you so much. I think we'll talk again one of these days.
Thank you so much. Somebody was asking for Honorable Ola's number. Honorable Ola, can you give your number out for the person? I know I said those that participated in the training should send their information to you to be able to include them in the database for those that will get their certifications. Honorable Ola, do you want to give the person your number? You want me to give them the number? Unmute yourself. Honorable Ola, can you?
Yes, it's on me. Yes, please give the person my number. Yes, please.
Okay, for those that are participating in training that want to contact Honorable Ola, text her or send a message on the password 419-870-6730 +1 419-870-6730. Those of you that have my number, you can also send me your information if you participated in that training. So thank you so much, everyone. And on behalf of the United States of Biafra government, I say thank you, Dr. Wanda. Thank you for all the participants. May God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of Biafra.
And you too, man. Thank you. Bye-bye, DPN.
Okay, guys. Please, we are going to come live on our main platform shortly. Just keep your eyes on that. See you again. Bye-bye for now.